We're servicing an MS230 today, just a basic maintenance service. Okay, so first just make sure that your fuel tank is empty. You want to make sure you have all of the old fuel taken out from the last time it was used, whether it was 6 months ago, a year ago. Next we'll remove the fuel filter. You can get a special tool to do this or use a long nose pliers. So pull the fuel filter out of the fuel tank with the pipe still connected to it, and then disconnect the old filter from the fuel pipe. This can be a struggle sometimes you need to use a pliers or a screwdriver. You get the replacement fuel filter and insert it into the fuel pipe. And just put that back into the fuel tank, down into the bottom. So remove the air filter cover. And next we loosen the two studs to allow us to remove the air filter and get access to the spark plug. So there's one. And the other. And off comes the fuel filter. So you can see the dirt built up on the outside of it. We can just give that a blow later on. Let's just remove the spark plug cover and remove the cap off the spark plug. So as you can see in the spark plug cap, so if you look into the spark plug cap, you can see that there's no damage on the inside. And now you can loosen the spark plug using a plug spanner. 1 or 2 turns on the plug spanner is enough usually, and you should be able to loosen the rest by hand. So you can see the plug there is quite dirty, quite black on the bottom. And there's a replacement plug. It's a BPM R7A. And just screw in the new plug. Hand tight at first. Tighten with the plug spanner. Not too tight, just tight enough. Pop back on the plug cap, nice and tight. Next we remove the bar and chain cover by loosening 2 nuts. This can be done with the plug spanner. You should be able to take them off with your hands. So once the cover is removed, you can see all the dirt inside. This will need to be cleaned off. Next we'll have a look at the sprocket and the bar and chain. You can drop back the bar and chain and remove it from the chainsaw. Looking at the sprocket, it appears to have some material wrapped around it, getting in at the sprocket. You can see the wear on the sprocket from use and the material wrapped around it that's caught in it. So we can just remove the circlip. And the washer and just pull off that material that's caught in it. Remove the sprocket by pulling it out with the pliers. making sure the brake is off. So you can just check the bearings for wear, pull out the bearing underneath, check it for wear. So you can see the material that had clogged up the sprocket. The sprocket bearing is quite good. Before putting the sprocket bearing back in place, we apply some grease. Place the sprocket back in onto the dry shaft. You can see the lip on the sprocket showing you where it needs to clip into the saw. Just clean out any remaining grit before putting it back on. Just clicks back into place if it's aligned correctly. You can put back on the washer now, followed by the circlip. So you can see the buildup of dirt all around the saw from the carburettor across to the bar and chain and sprocket. So we're going to go and give this a big clean. So now you can see we've blown away all the dust and wiped it down. So the carburettor is much cleaner. Around the spark plug is much cleaner. There's a lot less dirt around the throttle system. And in general it just looks a lot tidier. And then looking at the sprocket again, you can see how much cleaner it is. The housing we've cleaned off, the air filter we've cleaned. This is just with an air compressor. So first we will deburr the bar, and what this does is it just removes any dirt that may build up over time and use. Don't forget to wear your safety glasses. So next we will sharpen the chain using the grinder. It's very important to have your angles correct. Make sure the angle grinder is in line 30 degrees with the chain. First we sharpen every second tooth. Then we reverse the direction of the chain, alternating every second tooth. Now we are adding fresh petrol mix to the saw. This unleaded petrol has been mixed with Stihl HP Ultra 2-stroke oil in a ratio of 50:1, so that's 5 litres to 100 millilitres. Now we add chain oil. The chain oil lubricates the chain as you're cutting timber. Placing back on the bar and chain. So making sure that your chain tensioner is dropped back, you can place the bar back on the saw. Make sure that you're putting the chain on in the correct direction with the teeth facing outwards, as shown by the directional arrows. So once the chain is on and the tensioner has been correctly fitted into the slot on the bar, you can begin to tighten up using the chain tensioner screw. Once the chain has tension, place the cover back on and tighten with the nuts. The nuts have a correct top and bottom direction, so confirm that this is correct. You see the flat side goes towards the saw. So hand tighten these nuts. You can continue to tighten the chain by tightening the chain tensioning screw. Once the chain is visibly tight, you can test the tension with your hand by pulling it down. You place a flat screwdriver between the bottom side of the link of the chain and the bar. If there's no space for the screwdriver, the chain is too tight, and if it's loose, then the chain needs to be tightened. Push the bar into a hard surface before you tighten the cover nuts. This is to direct the bar as far as possible up. Give the chain a turn or two, just to make sure that it's all tensioned and tight. So now, once the work has been carried out, we can start the saw. So lock the throttle down in full, let it up one setting, so this activates the choke. Check that the oil is flowing, lubricating the chain by putting it over a bit of cardboard. You can see the trail of oil on the bench. And that's it. Thanks for watching.